Hi there, I'm Christopher, and welcome to the 5th episode of Christopher, Barons of Gaming. This episode may contain materials that could offend young viewers. Please make sure that you have a parent or guardian with you while watching this. On this episode, I'd like to talk about something which I think is being rather controversial in Australia at the moment, which is R-rated games. Obviously, they were introduced just about 12 months ago now, the first game being God of War Ascension, and some of them have been rated R for reasons which are really odd and we can't all figure out why, and other ones have been rated R for reasons which are very clear but are still finding their way into young people's hands. I'd like to bring everyone's attention to Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, I would like to say that this is one of my favourite games. It is a brilliant game, and Rockstar North always produce fantastic games that always push the bar a little bit. Now, this one certainly does, and it is rated R, but I think for the wrong reasons. It's rated R for drug use. Now, that's all it says. It doesn't say high-level violence, coarse language, nudity, torture, all sorts of things, and it's very much an adult-themed game. Now, I have actually seen people in game shops, adults, buying this game for their children, and I find this really quite actually disturbing, especially because the other day on my PlayStation 3 I managed to get the multiplayer going, which is pretty good, but I could hear lots and lots of chatter of young children. Now, where are the parents of these children, and why are they not doing their jobs right? Because really, come on guys, this is a seriously violent game which is restricted for a reason. And there are lots of games like this which are continually getting into younger and younger hands. So let's have a look at that right now.
A few weeks ago, I was happily sulking by my swimming pool. What do you want?
Just came by to see if there's something I can help you with.
I'm retired. My psychotic best friend shows up out of nowhere.
Nobody tells me what I want!
To torture me over mistakes I made over a decade ago. You're back in the game? I guess.
Yes! Woo! Welcome back, man!
We're all professionals. We all know the score.
This is legit business. 401ks, tax returns, and all.
We're gonna move quick, and we're gonna keep cool.
My job, my score, get your own!
You are alone, you pathetic psychopath!
Suppose a group hug's out of the question?
Now, I think it's extremely good that Australia does have an R rating, and I am one of the people who I signed about 10 petitions to try and get it, and I really think it's fantastic that it gives adults an option to play games which otherwise wouldn't have the content in Australia. And I think that's absolutely brilliant, but it really, really means that parents have to make sure that their children do not play these games. Now, to give an example, I was talking to somebody in a game shop the other day who said that they were going to sell one to an adult, but the adult said to their child, "Oh, I don't think this game is for you," and they said, "Oh, but Mum, I played it at a friend's house." Now, the parents of that friend really should not be letting somebody else's young child, probably 9 or 10 years old, play a game which is restricted by law to adults only. And I think this is something which a lot of people don't understand in Australia, is that there are actually, it's not just a regulation, it is the law, and there are large penalties involved. Now, MA is also restricted. You are not allowed to allow a child under the age of 15 to view or play an MA 15 plus game, which unless they are supervised by an adult. Now, it has to be an adult or a parent or guardian, essentially, but it has to be somebody above the age of 18. Now, that's the law, and those laws are there for a reason. And the issues I've got are the fact that the more that children abuse this system, the more likely it's going to get withdrawn. And as an adult pro gamer, I don't want it withdrawn, because I really think it's very important that adults get to choose for themselves what they want to be able to play. Now look, I should say that obviously in reference to Grand Theft Auto 5, I believe that the violence and the adult themes in general are justified. Most of them are there for either humorous reasons or as a protest about politics and etc, etc, etc. There are other games, of course, which are rated R, which have been very successful, and they are rated R for a reason, though. Now, another one, of course, one which I've talked about before, and one which on the Barons of Gaming podcast we talked about, The Last of Us. Now, The Last of Us obviously is rated R as well because of its themes. Now, it does have violence in it, but it really has emotional content which young people may not understand and might find quite frightening. And this is the thing, as an adult, I find it quite frightening, and so do other people as well. So it's really important. Those rules are there for a reason, and it's so important that we follow them. There isn't too much really in gaming news this week, other than the fact that it looks like Turtle Beach are going to take over the PlayStation 4 official headphone set, which is good because the wired one really just isn't that good. Now I've got a couple of PlayStation 4 headsets, and let's have a look at them right now. As far as I can find at the moment, there are two cheap alternatives to the Sony PlayStation 4 headphones. Now, obviously the ones that come in the box are these. Now, they're not the best. They're relatively cheap. Technically, it's a left ear. There's only one ear, and it's not really that clear. So, essentially, the next lot I got was a Turtle Beach. Now, as I've already said, PlayStation is going to be using Turtle Beach as their manufacturer for headphones. Now, this is a reasonably good headphone set. I find the volume just isn't quite loud enough, but it's not too bad. Now, if you're wearing glasses, it does make them move around just a little bit. Now, that can be a bit of a problem. The other one is these. Now, this is an official PlayStation 4 one. It again is for the left ear only. Much, much more comfortable. Has a really clear on-off switch, which is fantastic. And overall, I'm much, much, much happier with those. These two here, the prices of these two are very, very similar. This was about $30. This was about $24. Now, the official ones are actually cheaper. The only reason I got these ones was that these hadn't come out yet. So overall, I'd recommend get yourself a pair of these until something better comes out. Well, that's all we have time for on Christopher Barons of Gaming this time. So I look forward to seeing you next time. But remember, until then, keep on gaming.